So how do people come to see their need for a savior? It's a huge question. For some, the journey home starts in a really broken place. But for others, it actually starts right inside the church. We're talking two very different paths, but they end up at the exact same destination. Let's get into it. This line from Jesus is kind of the key to unlocking this whole idea. It's not just about seeing with your eyes. It points to two totally different ways of getting to the truth. Some people, like Thomas in the story, they need to physically touch the wounds to really believe it's real. But for others, belief is this journey of trust, one that doesn't need to see all that devastation up close. And that really sets up the two big ideas we're talking about today. On one hand, you've got this belief that's born from touching the wounds, from seeing the wreckage of sin firsthand. And on the other, you have a belief born from trust, from just accepting the truth without having to fall into the pit first. Both paths are heading towards a savior, but man, they start from completely different places.
All right, so let's start with that first path, the one that's really forged in fire. This is that journey through what the Bible calls the far country, a faith that's shaped by some pretty harsh personal realities. See, for this group, faith isn't some abstract theory or philosophy. Nope. It's a direct response to being rescued. They have lived through the absolute death of their old lives, the devastation, and they have actually experienced a kind of resurrection. It's like they saw new life after the horror of their own choices. And these wounds, they aren't just ideas. We're talking about real, tangible pain. The kind of shame that crushes you, addiction, fractured relationships. This is the stuff that finally makes a person realize, I can't save myself. It's the very pain that makes them start looking for a rescuer. And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? For someone who's been pulled out of the pit, faith isn't some self-improvement program. It is not an accessory you add to an already comfortable life. It is the lifeline. It's the only reason they're still breathing. And that creates this deep, profound gratitude that's born from just absolute desperation. Okay, so now let's flip the coin and look at the second path, the faith that's grown right inside the house. This is what you might call the older brother experience, like in that famous parable, the one who never left home. Here's the tricky part for anyone who grew up in church. They learn all the right words, they know the Bible stories, the doctrines, they've got the language down cold. But they might have never felt that soul-crushing weight of their own sin, that deep, personal, desperate need for the very grace they talk about all the time. And that's the big danger, right? Being close to the truth is an incredible gift, but it's so easy to assume that just being near it means you've been changed by it. Think of it like this. You can spend your whole life in a library, surrounded by amazing books, but never actually be transformed by them. Knowing about God just isn't the same as truly knowing God. This simple line just hits the nail on the head. For the person who has always been good, maybe the biggest hurdle is realizing that being respectable is not the same thing as being righteous. Looking good on the outside, keeping up that perfect appearance, it has nothing to do with being made right with God on the inside. True righteousness isn't something you earn. It's a gift.
Okay, but we have to hit pause here for a second, because this is super important. As we look at these two paths, we can't, for even a moment, start to glorify the path that leads into the pit.
The hard truth is, sin is not some wise teacher. It's a liar. Full stop. It promises you freedom, but it delivers chains. It promises pleasure, but it leaves this trail of pain. That far country we talked about, it's a place of real, devastating cost.
The scars people carry from that journey, they aren't cool battle scars. They are marks of real, lasting damage. The consequences can follow you for a lifetime. Relationships get destroyed, sometimes for good. And you lose time that you can never, ever get back. No one should wish for this path. The pit is not some romantic detour. It is a place of destruction. So this all boils down to one question. For all of us, no matter which story feels more like our own, do you see grace as absolutely essential for survival, like air for someone who's drowning? Or does it feel more like an optional upgrade to a life that's already pretty good? Your answer to that, well, it reveals everything. All right, so let's bring these two very different stories back to one place. Because no matter how different the journeys are, the destination is the same. The ground at the foot of the cross is completely level.
You know, the stories from people who've been rescued from the pit, they're like a wake-up call for the rest of us. What do they teach us? They show us that self-reliance is a myth, and it will always collapse. They show us that grace isn't just an idea, it's an active, powerful rescue. That Jesus isn't a life coach, he's a savior. Because in the end, when we get to the foot of the cross, all those labels we carry around, prodigal, older brother, respectable, broken, they just fall away. The masks come off. And in that place, there's only one category left: a sinner who desperately needs mercy. And that's the incredible punchline to all of this. It doesn't matter if someone comes with bloodied hands from fighting their way out of a pit or with clean hands that are just hiding an empty heart. The destination is identical. The need is the same. The grace is the same. And the Savior is the same for both. So I want to leave you with this. Just one last question. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're in the deepest pit or sitting comfortably in the pew. The only thing that really matters is this. From wherever you are standing right now, can you see your need for a rescue?